All right. So for this week for our Chaos of War, we're obviously going to be talking about Minneapolis, Minnesota. I don't know, whatever the name of the stupid places that everybody went to, that I didn't get to go. I didn't get to go to. But this is kind of like, let's look at the overall like status to begin with. So Qi'ra has officially taken the lead, with like, I don't know, one more per like 0.1% or something. I don't know how she's eking the wins out over Han, but she is. And that's all of the Hans. So there's too many Hans, I guess. But Qi'ra and we have Rey hitting 7 wins with Rey Data Vault. So like that's why I feel like people are going to be on this, and like what's really good against Rey Data Vault is Pelp. So I'm just saying, you know, like just saying you should run Pelp. But yeah, if you look at this, these are just the winners for the different tournaments, and I'd say that even here this feels pretty diverse, right? It's not all control, it's not all aggro, it's not all mid range. There's like a pretty big variety in here. I'm a little sad to see Anakin kind of like dusting himself down to the bottom of it, but you know it is nice that Anakin's still hitting in the top 8 of the win leaders. But man, that Han 2 jumping up here, both with blue and with green, is pretty cool to see.
I do like how everyone's just like, oh right, Han 2 exists. Maybe we should build around him. He was always really good. Why did we stop playing him?
I know my son gave me all sorts of crap because he played Han 2 for 2 sets. Just that's all he played. And then I was like, let's build you something different. And then he started playing Asajj Red. And then I was talking with Crispy, and I put together a version of Crispy's Han 2 Data Vault deck. And now he's playing that again. So he's not playing Han again for the 3rd set. But these are the top 8s. Qi'ra barely squeaking out over Sabine here with top leaders. They're tied if you just get rid of the bases for it. It is interesting to see only one other Qi'ra had a different base combo that made top 8. So just as an FYI, and if you look up here, only Data Vaults have won. So
ECL.
One ECL, I guess. I don't know. I still think Qira ECL is pretty good, but having that extra health is a lot nicer. So yeah. So again, this is just kind of the top 8. We see very similar things that we saw up here. You can see like Vader's making top 8s, but Vader's struggling to take down a bunch of tournaments. And that's kind of, I think, you know, like CAD being up here feels pretty good too, like seeing the CAD's 5 greens and 25 Tarkin Towns, but seeing CAD still being up in the top and Quinlan still being in there makes it so that we know that the meta hasn't completely shifted to remove those 2 staples that we knew were kind of going to be staples to begin with. So let's move on to the Minnesota regional. Qi'ra, the most represented deck, I guess, followed by Sabine. And then, of course, Vader. Thank you, Tanner, for that. And then Han Solo Data Vault, right? So Han 2 Data Vault, the 4th highest represented deck, which is just crazy to me.
It's a nasty deck.
It is. And that's just crazy. It just, man, people must love that deck. It tied with a regular Han Solo 30 base, which I'm a little surprised that Han 1 is not being ran with the Data Vault more often. Maybe it's just a consistency.
30, right? It's not mono yellow Han or anything like that. So
no, did I say that? Sorry. Yes, Han 1 so green. Yep,
it is green. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not seeing yellow. We didn't see yellow Han make any dent this tournament, which is a little surprising to me. But the prominent supplier that was at Alexander the Great guy, he was the one that perpetuated the Han yellow deck a long time ago, and he now is doing the Han 1 green instead. So I don't know. Anything surprising in here in the top cut? Or no, I'm sorry, in the top 64?
It's nice to see like Luke Data Vault. That's kind of cute. 8 people brought that. kind of it's weird that Anakin dropped, but like other people have said it before. It's just like, yeah, Anakin, like Colossus, Anakin, Blue kind of thing. Well, I guess there was 7 Colossus, 7 just straight blue 30
So that's
health. So that's
14.
like 14 decks. Okay. So let's say some
That's
of
pretty
it,
good.
like he tends to like not underperform, but like has weird like issues with certain matchups that are popular. So I wouldn't expect a lot of people bringing them, but yeah, I mean it works. Yoda Data Vault's kind of funny. 7 people brought that.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like the Endless Legions kind of silliness, or just like, oh, it's just another late game blue-green hero attack that also happens to be really good. It draws you a bunch of cards, so Data Vault doesn't really matter much when you can just always draw the top card of your deck.
Yeah, and you don't get the exact same healing you get with Ray, but you do kind of get similar healing
Yeah,
from
Restore 2 on a turn leader.
Yeah, so
That
and he's got 9 health. So yeah, Yoda's actually is a pretty good. I will say I think the Ray deck does better because Ray has the ability to add those experience tokens like during the rounds, and Yoda doesn't have a lot of that. Yoda has to play upgrades to get similar things.
I mean, like, Ray is good because Ray takes like smaller units and then buffs them so they trade favorably. Like, she's just really efficient. And that's kind of like the secret, or it's just like, yeah, well, if you take this 1/4, now it's a 2/5 restore 1, like Akbar or something, right? Like, now it's a threat, and then you can add it again, so now it's like a 3/7 restore 1. That's just a problem unit for that cheap, right? So
yeah, and I think the other one of the things that we kind of talked about locally is like, do Anakins lose to Rays or do Rays lose to Anakins typically? Like, I mean, they're both hero, right? And they're both running similar suites. But which is it? Like does Anakin have like the better ability because he can use the pillage functionality and he can use force throw, and Ray doesn't have either of those cards.
You can put force throw in Ray. It's just kind of an odd choice.
Most people don't. Just the Alexes of the world do. No one else.
I had force throw in my Han Blue deck.
You did.
It made sense.
We know.
It worked.
So, kind of going along the same vein, I'm kind of interested in the slow decline of Kinlan Boss, right? It seems like less and less people are bringing Kinlan nowadays, right? It's meanwhile you're still regulars with like Han and Sabine still showing up there. Is it just Kinlan is just not being as effective as the older leaders?
I want to just point out too, this is top 64. So this is not out of all over the 600 people. This is just the top 64.
Yeah. I mean, like
in
just performance wise, right? Like when you compare it like to everybody else, like it's just an interesting data point for me to see, Kinlan Boss for a minute would look like it was going to be in the top of the meta, for what it could do, right, with all the different styles decks so you could bring for Kinlan Boss, but now it's just slowly kind of declining over time. And I thought it was something that we would see just stay on the top for a while, along with like Sabine. But it's just kind of interesting to see it like slowly decline a little.
I think Quinlan is good and like a meta where one deck or like 2 decks are very, very good, and it was like not being targeted, and it can kind of counter those really well. But like Quinlan, I don't think plays super well into like Data Vault Ray or Qi'ra or like Space Fader, right? And like it doesn't deal well if it's being specifically targeted against. So, it might go up actually now that there's like Qi'ra, but like I don't think. I mean, Tanner, you play like Qi'ra. Was Quinlan ever really a huge threat against you?
Not really, depending on if they can strip my hand really well. Like if they play a full pillage and force throw package, then I have a harder time. But in fairness, outside of that, no. Like, and if they play them early, that means you're not playing units, and then I just save a few bombs for when you play your Quinlan and then Quinlan's dead. So, no, I don't think it's really that big a deal. They can't push damage fast enough against Qi'ra. honestly. And we've got Sentinels too, so like or they're force throwing their own cards, which we all know that's a solution, but it's just not the best solution.
Yeah, sometimes that's incredible. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I agree with you. I really feel Quinlan. Okay, so we say this, and then Quinlan does make top 8. Just as an FYI, JJ, in the top 8 is Quinlan. So it's not like it didn't do well. I think it's just the piloting piece of it. It does better against some of these aggro-ish decks, and then starts to struggle when more control kind of filters in, or these longer games. It doesn't have the tenacity, and the problem is in that deck, to make that deck good, you have to tech against these other decks. So if you're teching against Han, you're not teching against Qi'ra, right? Or if you're teching against Rey and Qi'ra, now you're not teching against Vader's or any of these other like Bosk. Like even Bosk is really good, I think, into Quinlan.
Yeah, and I think that's just kind of the issue, right? Like it just doesn't play super well. The way people are building it doesn't play super well into what the big decks are right now.
Yeah, it's the CAD feels better just because of the Underworld McClunky package, right? But that's why CAD has I feel a little bit bigger of an edge over Quinlan when it comes to that type of stuff. Maybe not playing against each other, so don't say that. But CAD has an easier time teching against some of these other decks, whereas Quinlan can't. It gives up too much real estate, I think. All right. Well, let's move on. Here's our top 8. We did have 2 Quinlan Tarkin Towns, ironically enough, in the top 8. 1 Qi'ra, 1 Cad Bane, who happened to be Raytan, and I'll tell you, I'm happy I did not have to play against him in Richmond, because he seems to be every time there's a PQ or someplace I go, he seems to be there. Like, I don't know why. It's like, stop showing up to my stuff. But it's funny. It's nice to see, and it was funny to watch him on stream too, because he has some nervous ticks that if you haven't played against him, you don't notice. But it's just kind of funny because like there's a couple of things that you could tell. It's like, oh, I know what he's got to say, because he's played the same deck at least for the last 2 sets, I think. I don't know before that. I don't remember him being in our meta, but because he lives in Ohio, he comes to Michigan more often than not.
Was he? He wasn't at Lansing, was he?
I think he was. Yeah.
Oh. Whoa,
yeah, I think he was in Lansing. I don't know. I don't remember. We'll have to go back and look. I think he was in Lansing though, but he was in Richmond. I know he was in Richmond, and then he was obviously he came around for the PQ in Garden City too. So, but I don't know. Palpatine yellow, am I just allowed to say that? That's what happened to Lansing. All right. Anyway, so we also had a Han 2 blue, which is pretty cool to see in there. I'm waiting for my son to give me a bunch of grief for it. So, anything about the top 8 before we just actually dive into some decks?
No, it's cool to see a Han 2 blue being brought back. It's been a while. So,
yeah. And wait till you see it. You'll love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, so here's kind of the bracket, just so you know kind of what like kind of came out of it. Woooo is a Qi'ra player. Woooo beat the Quinlan. Tada played Rey. Data Vault also beat the Quinlan. So the Data Vault, the blue-green decks, being able to take those Quinlans out a lot easier. And then you had the Cad Bane, which was Rey, versus Sabine, the Chrono. That game, I believe, is actually streamed if you want to go back and watch it. And that's a pretty interesting game. I found that a million times more interesting than watching him play against Rey. That was so boring to watch him play against Rey. Just
I heard that was
so
a pretty
boring.
crazy game.
Yeah. But it is, if you want to see something that's pretty cool, those were pretty cool. And we have a link to the SWU competitive site where they have all the videos in there. So like, I'm not going to link all the videos. You could just go to that site and find the videos. So, all right. So we get into some of the list. So I'm gonna go over Qi'ra since I'm the resident Qi'ra player here. This is Woo's list. He did throw spice in here, by the way, which he didn't tell any. After giving it, like in one of the discords, he was like, I don't know about Snoke. I don't know about Snoke. And look, there's one Snoke in there. And I bet you it performed very well because I saw him play it more than one time on stream. So we have 3 high blowns, 1 restock, 3 Pershings, 3 Infernals, 3 of the Pikes, 2 Death Troopers. I still think you could go with what I went with the Tigers, and they do very similar things. I like them better, actually. 1 of the Eager Escorts, 2 of the Phase 3, 3 of the Super Laser Techs, 3 Powers, 3 Resupplies, 2 Perimeter ATRT, sorry. 2 Fells, 3 Village Protectors, 3 Vigilances.
Wow.
2 Calluses, which is hilarious. There's Calluses in here, right? 3 of the HMPs, 3 No Guts, No Glory, 3 of the Overwhelming Barrage, 3 Vader, 2 Maul, 2 Walkers, 1 Snoke, 2 Super Laser Blasts, 2 Avengers, 1 Relentless, and 2 Devastators. So it looks like he went down a reinforcement walker for a Snoke, which I think is a gutsy play. I don't know if I would do that or not. And then running one less small. I would, yes. There. I use those way too often. I think like especially in Qi'ra, because you just shield this stupid thing, and then like they have to use takedown. The other notable difference is I was running a Rivals Fall, which I believe Woo was also originally running a Rivals Fall, which is not in there as well. The sideboard consists of 1 Annihilator, 2 of the Quintessence, the 3rd Walker, the 2nd Snoke, 3 Palp's Return, 1 more Eager, 1 more Relentless, and 1 Annihilator. So kind of a little bit wild sideboard. I would have been running 1 more Restock. That's what I was on. And I was actually running a full suite of those Eager Escorts in the sideboard. But I didn't win a 600-person tournament. Yeah, so. I will say this, Callus is an interesting call. I don't hate it, personally. Callus was what we used to run Callus way back in set 1.
In set 1 Palp, that Callus was great. I don't know exactly what he's targeting here with Callus.
I think I don't know. I think it's like another ambush unit that gives you like that ambush feel for it for when you flip Qi'ra, because you can ambush in and hit like a 3 health thing, kill it, draw your card, flip Qi'ra, heal damage, and now you've got Callus on board again. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is good against like R2D2s and C3POs, but when I boss them up, a little bit less so. But I guess you can kind of respond if they drop like a Yoda. You could drop a Callus, I guess. I mean, Bazines, Greedos, they're
yeah. I mean, honestly, for me, I back when I was playing set 1, Callus was such a big card for me because it gives that. In most cases, you can remove a card or Sentinel piece even. With Callus with that ambush in, and then draw a card, which is huge for mid game if you're looking for a particular card. Just having that card draw and targeting a low health unit with Callus is pretty huge. So definitely does see its place in this particular deck, I think.
So yeah, I mean, like nothing. It's a good card. It's just I'm not exactly sure what he's going after for with that.
I genuinely think it's mainly for the ambush piece. For the fact that you don't have another ambush at 4 or 5 cost in green, that doesn't have like some other conditional piece to it. I mean, yes, you can. I know you can run an escort skiff. I know. Trust me.
I know. I didn't mention it,
but you can't. You can't run that unless you have damn units on the ground to get the ambush off. So in a bluish deck, it's a little bit harder to get that off. But so I would wager that's what a lot of it's there for. Also, interesting a side note, there's no Forlom in here. I disagree with that personally. I would have
Lompike, not Forlom.
Lompike. Yes, I agreed with the Lompike. I understand why he cut it was to put those calluses in, right? So, simply removing your Rivals Fall and your whatchamacallit. And the card draw is also nice. Just like in Qi'ra, it can be actually really decent, especially like if Quinlan does run a full discard package or Anakin wants to discard your whole life. You can play this Callus and kill that Yoda and get your card. So I don't know. I like it. It's a little different than I would probably run it. I would be putting the tie daggers and.
But I got it. Catalyst for the Qi'ra mirrors.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That might be what it's for, because that 4 damage. There you go. That's probably what it's for.
And they could trade without you having to trade your Qi'ra.
Yeah,
that seems pretty good. Yeah, all right. That's probably it.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
So. All right. Runner up was Cad Tarkin Town. Who wants this is the all yellow deck except for all yellow.
Yep.
Except for you're running Tarkin Town.
I'll go through this one here. So I mean we'll treat Hotshot Blaster as a yellow
it's
card.
A yellow card.
Why not? So we got Cad Bane Tarkin Town, 3 copies of Greedo and McClunky. We got 3 Hotshot Blasters, 3 copies of Bazine and the Cartel Spacer, 3 Crafty Smugglers, 1 Bamboozle only, which is actually kind of a interesting choice considering the amount of JTL Vaders out there. But we also have 2 copies of Sneak Attack, 3 Surprise Strikes, 3 Boba Fett's, 3 Houndstooth. 2 copies of Houndstooth, 2 copies of the Mist Hunter, 3. Now there's 2 of them. 3 Relentless Pursuits, 2 Waylays, 3 copies of Forlom, 2 copies of Jabba and Bosk, and then lastly 3 copies of Zuckuss and Cad Bane to round off the list there. And then in the sideboard we have 1 additional Bamboozle, 2 No Good to Me Deads, 2 copies of
Unrefusable Offer, baby.
Unrefusable Offer, and then 3 TIE Phantoms and 2 Champs and Doulas, which is the only other red card in this deck here. Definitely
it is
a really
the only red card in this deck.
Whoa, Tarkin Town's red.
That's not a card that you get to play.
Technically, yeah. But yeah, really, really heavy, great bounty hunter deck, nice and aggressive, can definitely punish really fast, has a lot of answers for a lot of different decks out there. And the fact that you're constantly pinging in damage with Cad Bane too when you're playing these bounty hunters makes it really, really good. The Now There 2 of them is a great addition for this as well. And Relentless Pursuit is also a staple for this deck, just to make sure that you can bring out your Forlom or your Zuckuss when you need to, or even Cad Bane for late game, and you can really punish if your opponent can't control your side of the board enough. Not very space heavy. I mean, yeah, you got the Houndstooth and the Mist Hunter out there, but really that's all you really need. And then the Cartel Spacer is a nice, just exhaustive card, just for like getting those smaller units out of the way. Definitely a really solid list. I like this a lot.
So I want to know.
Oh, go on. I wonder if we're asking the same question.
I wonder if there's a way to make this an all yellow deck and then be able to run Cunnings and it do almost the same. Like, that's what this feels like, right? Like, is Tarkin Town that big of a... Like, Tarkin Town's 3 damage that you get to do. Is there something in yellow that I can use that does the 3 damage somewhere? I don't know.
Not like that. I was going to ask, I wonder what those unrefusable offers are for. Like, what huge piece or whatever piece that he's taking is... He wants to replay, I guess, for their opponent. Because, like, you know, the bounty does, like, you play the unit for free under your control. It enters ready, and then it's gone at the start of the regroup phase. So, like,
I don't know. I would assume maybe, like, it would be like to close games out with, right?
Yeah, but you still have to kill the unit that he's on, though.
Well, what about okay? Can you capture the unit?
Yeah, you can capture.
Yeah.
But
so I got a Cad Bane.
I don't remember how unrefusable offer works with that.
Okay. Because I do wonder if like that would be the okay if you can capture it right and then be able to play it right away and then it gets defeated, that's a pretty cheap removal piece. I'm very surprised there is no Frozen and Carbonites in this deck. Like that, I feel like that would just be a staple, maybe. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I feel like it would be very good in this deck.
That's right. They errated this. That's why. Okay. It gains play this unit from the owner's discard pile or from the capture or from catcher for free under your control.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm like, it was like kind of weird about unrefusable for like capture, but like they specified, you can play it out from under capture, so that helps more.
Okay. Yeah, because then it dies, right?
Pursuits and the CAD. Well, it dies. Yeah, the start of the regroup. You're just kind of one time change of hearting it.
Yeah, you're change of hearting it and killing it, and you're not giving it back, and like that's super huge. I think that's super huge.
It's like you sneak attacked your opponent's unit. That's what it feels. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. So think about it. You put that on a Luke. Next turn you play a Cad Bane, and now you got a Luke that can heal your base, and you just killed it, and then Cad Bane can swing, and you don't have to frickin' worry about them getting a Luke back. I don't know. Seems pretty good. Sure. It feels like a Dryden. Feels like a Dryden Voss, I guess, kind of. But I don't know. And you have 6 ways to capture things in this deck. So
I mean, it's the triple relentless pursuit that's probably doing the heavy lifting for the unrefusable offer. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's just got a couple championship ones that he wants to bust out. Like, you got those for store showdowns in set 2.
I know.
Got a full play set of those 2 things.
Mm-hmm. So it's a pretty neat deck. I do wonder if there's a way to like make this work with the yellow deck so you can get Cunnings in there, but maybe not. I don't know.
Try it out.
All right. Let's move on to Ray Data Vault. This was Tada's deck. Alex, I guess go ahead, Alex. It's a little bit different. They got a couple of different things in here that we had not seen before, so
so it's Ray Data Vault. You got triple Clone Deserter, triple R2D2, double Battlefield Marine, triple C-3PO, triple Mon Mothma, double Spark of Hope, triple Entrenched, triple Akbar, triple Blue Leader, triple Fleet Lieutenant, double Sindari, triple Tech, which is interesting to me, triple Village Protectors, 1 Yoda, triple Resupply, triple Bright Hope, triple Fel, double Timely Reinforcements, double Cargo Juggernaut, a copy of Unity of Purpose, which is funny, triple Luke, triple U-Wing Reinforcement, triple Home 1. In the side, you have triple Confiscate, 1 Regional Governor, 1 Direct Hit, 1 Rivals Fall, 2 Choose Sides, and 2 of the Architons.
Yeah. It's a deck, right? This is different.
I mean, I guess you can flood the board, so you need a purpose. It's a good game closer. You're paying 8 for it, but
yeah, with Ray, I don't think you care though, right? Because like I've not seen Ray ever get underneath like 12 resources.
Yeah,
usually you want that home 1 Luke loop, Yeah.
So like, it's playable. The Cargo Juggernaut's a little bit weird to me. Because you have Rey and 1 copy of Yoda and 3 Lukes, and that's your blue units.
Oh, you got... hold on, you got Village Protectors, too.
I'm sorry, you're right. Those things. Yeah, so, like, it's kind of weird to, like, heal off of that. I mean, it works, obviously, right? I mean, you got top cut with it, so doing something right.
Yeah, I don't think I got to watch any of this gameplay. I don't think the techs are an accident. Like, I think techs were specific because you have the ability to play that Unity of Purpose out of your resource row, and same with those time. Sure, and you could do the same thing with the timelies, right? Like those timely reinforcements allow you to basically just kill. Like I'm gonna play it for 7 resources, but if I have 8, like I get to make 4 of these things, and they're all Sentinels, and I don't know.
Oh man, someone did that to me in a game recently. I think I had 10 resources. Yeah, that sounds about right. I might have had 11. So they just like play timely reinforcements. It dropped 5 X-Wing Sentinels, and then I overwhelming barraged with my Red Devastator and wiped out every single one of those and swung into the base for the game.
That's gross.
I'm just like, hey, I'm overwhelming barraging for 11. That kills all your TIE Fighter, or all your X-Wings. It works.
It does work. So I don't know. I don't really have a big opinion. If I'm gonna run blue green, I'm just running villain. So blue green hero is not my. It's just not my. I don't think
love
it's my
hero.
I know you do. I do not. So I don't hate
green
it.
hero and red green villainy are my favorites.
Yeah, it's just not. This is not my style. I like my Qira's better. All right, why don't we move on to the other one? This was a Han Solo green. This was Alexander's list. I bet you we've covered this list more than one time. I don't know if he has anything different in here that he had before. So I guess I'll go over it real quick, I guess. So we have 1 Confiscate main decked, 3 of the blasters, 3 L337s, 3 of the Phoenix A-Wings, the green ones, 3 Surprise Strike, 3 Blue Leaders, 2 of the Millennium Falcons Get Out and Push. Which I think that's I think he was running 3 of those before. 3 of the standard Falcon that readies itself, the yellow one. 3 stolen AT haulers, which I love that card so much. 3 techs, 3 resupplies, 2 waylays, 2 Poes, 2 Qi'ras, 3 Chewies, 3 Han pilots, 2 of the ambush Millennium Falcon, 1 Enfys Nest, and 2 of the Han Solo ambush units, and 3 timelies. The side they have 2 salvage
U-wing reinforcements.
U-wings. What did I say? I said timelies. Yeah. 3 U-wing reinforcements. 2 salvage in the side, 1 more confiscate, 2 R2D2 pilot, 1 change of heart, a second Enfys, a third Han, and 2 home ones.
The green home ones, not the yellow ones.
Yeah, the green ones, yeah. Which is funny because you almost think you could play the yellow home one in this deck, right? Like, it would probably be pretty
not
good
worth
too.
The price unless you're playing it for 6.
Yeah. So I don't know. This is the Han green deck that we've seen. I don't really think there's anything spicy outside of maybe the AT haulers. I don't think everybody's on those. But in Han, I think they make a lot of sense personally.
Yeah, you could drop them turn 1, right?
Yep. Yep, and they can't. And you put a Chewbacca on it, and people will cry. All right. Next, we have a Quinlan Tarkin Town, JJ's favorite deck of all times.
Yeah, so we got the classic Quinlan Tarkin Town. Got 3 copies of Force Throw and the Hotshot Blaster, 3 copies of the Green Squadron A-Wings, 3 L337s and R2D2s, 3 Sabine Wrens, 2 copies of Bamboozle, 3 Surprise Strikes and Cassian Andors. We got 2 Disabling Fang Fighters, 3 copies of the Guerrilla Soldiers and the Millennium Falcon. We have 3 copies of the Red 5 and 2 copies of Waylay, 3 copies of Ahsoka Tano, 2 copies of Qi'ra, 3 Plo Koons, and 3 copies of Han Solo to round off the main deck. And then on the sideboard, we have 2 Poe Damerons, which is an interesting choice. I think I probably would have put that in the main deck there, but still, nonetheless, still useful in the sideboard. We also have 2 copies of Champ Sandula, the can't read that one. That's so
hover tank.
The shadowed hover tank.
Yeah, the Shadow Hover tank. 2 Sparkler Rebellions, and then 2 Rogue.
The Rogue Operatives.
Yeah, in the sideboard as well to finish that off there. But yeah, pretty solid presence on the ground. I mean, you got great finishers with Qi'ra and Plo Koon and Han in there. Ahsoka Tano is such a great card to have on there. I do like the inclusion of the Disabling Fang Fighters in the main deck, just so you have that upgrade removal already handy there, and you have enough of a space presence to really just make sure that your opponent doesn't run away with the space side on there. It's definitely a little more ground heavy than most Quinlan decks that I've played against in person. But this is really, really strong. I like this.
I like the guerrilla soldiers there, right? Just more indirect damage dealt, which helps with Tarkin Town and Red 5 and all that. And then also, like, if they take it at a base, they're ready, so you finish them off faster. Seems like a pretty natural fit for this deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's okay. This is the standard.
It's a lot less
outside of
hate.
Yeah.
Like the sparks are on the side. You don't have like pillages or anything. I mean, you still have the Ahsokas and the force throws, but a little bit less, a little bit more geared towards actually playing the game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right. The next one we have is Sabine ECL. Didn't go away. Actually, and it's like almost identical. Like there's nothing super crazy outside of they have Chewie in the sideboard, right? So, Alex,
And
you want to go through the deck?
Sure, why not? So Sabine ECL. You got triple Rebel Assault, double Timely Intervention, triple Battlefield Marine, triple Green Squadron, A-Wing, double Luke Pilot, triple Phoenix Squadron A-Wing, one copy of the Rebel Pathfinder. That's a 2/3 Saboteur. You got triple Sabine, triple Cassian, triple Fighters for Freedom, which is interesting. You don't usually see a lot of those main decked. Triple Fleet Lieutenant, triple Sabine's Masterpiece, triple Wing Leader, triple For a Cause, triple K2SO, triple Darksaber, triple Poe, and triple Wrecker. In the side, you got triple Confiscate, a single copy of Heroic Sacrifice, the third Timely Intervention, one Open Fire, which I'm sure just immediately goes into the Qi'ra matchup, double Chewbacca Pilots, and double Sindaris. It's interesting that they're not like main decking the Sindaris. Helps in the aggro. You also have triple Darksaber, and that works. But this is pretty classic Sabine ECL. They did realize this set came out because there is 2 Luke Pilots and Sabine's Masterpiece, so this is not straight out of set 3, but it's probably as close as you're going to get for a deck like this.
Yeah, this is Chrono. He's the one that's been running the Sabine ECL since beginning of time. So
yeah.
So it's a whatever. It's okay if you like Sabine. This is the version. I'm not sold on this Rebel Pathfinder in here personally, but that's whatever.
Kills
that's
village protectors.
It does.
Just outright.
But I don't know.
It is interesting that it's a one-off though, not even in like the side.
Yeah. All right, the next one we have is Han Solo Dagobah. This is Han Solo 2. This has 3 Force Throws, 2 Sabines, which is crazy. Only 2 Sabines. But I guess when you can just cheat everything out, you don't need 2 cost units.
Mind you, that's all of his 2 cost units.
2 cost units, yep. 3 Cassians, which I'm guessing you never play from the row. You always can just play those turn 1.
It's an easy resource, but also it's a 3/3 for 2.
Yeah.
It's a Battlefield Marine.
Yeah. You also have the 2 Fang Fighters, 3 of the Outer Rim. I don't remember the last part of that, but those Outlaws, those guys are great. I love that card. 2 Phantoms, which we'll come back to that in a second.
We talked about that last week.
Oh, did we? I don't remember that. 2 Red 5s, 2 Village Protectors, 2 Yodas, 3 Open Fire, 2 Perilous, 3 Cham, 2 Kanan, 1 Direct Hit, 3 Fells, 1 Kiana Mundi, 2 of Obi's Aether Sprite, 3 Poes, 2 of the Hammerheads, 3 Lukes, 1 Chewbacca, and 3 main decked Crate Dragons like it should be. No Wreckers main board, by the way.
They just get in the way.
I guess.
I don't want to play Wrecker.
Play Crate Dragon.
Like, playing Wrecker for 5 is nice, but if you blow up your own resource, you can't deploy Han that round. You're trying to get to the end game, so I can see why the Wreckers are in the side.
Yeah. 2 bombing runs in the side, obviously for Vader's, and two of the 2 techs, 1 confiscate, 1 rivals fall, and 2 redemption. I will tell you that I don't understand the direct hit being in there, but I guess it's similar to like a fell, right? You know, it's a cheaper vanquish for space, and that's. I would rather have rivals fall, but that's just me.
Yeah, but you know, it is 4 costs to defeat that clone squadron. That's huge now.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
No Steel Agreras, which you could pull the direct hit off of, and the fells and all that. Open fires. Just fine, I guess. The Phantom 2 is kind of weird to me. Like, I guess it's a 5-1 for 2, which is okay. I feel like there's other things you could put in that slot.
A lot of other things, and we're running only 2 Yodas today too, so like I don't know, seems crazy to me. Only 2 Yodas.
1 Kiadi, double Yoda, double Kanan, triple Luke. That's your force units for those force throws.
Yeah, and your healing units, and I don't know. I guess Keanu doesn't actually heal, but
right, he draws cards, which is cool.
Yeah, and I will tell you,
a 5/5 for 4.
I played against a version of this with my trench deck, and I stupidly entrenched Keanu Moody, and it was great because he couldn't do anything. And then I realized that every time I would play that extra card, he was drawing cards, and it took me a couple turns before I figured out.
Good, you're milling him out.
I was, but he had 2 Krayt Dragons in hand, so that didn't work out very well. He played the one, I killed it. He played the second one, and I was like, oh, that's the end of that game.
I appreciate the Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite. Like, only Justin and I ever run that ship. I like it a lot. It's very good into, like, Vader pilots.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking 1 damage to yourself and then doing 2 to another spaceship. I'm not sure if I would use Han's ability to make it a 4/4 for 4. That also hits itself for 1 if you want to play it in the beginning. It's like a 4/3, which is kind of iffy. But I like the deck. It's cool. I like... Yeah. I would change some things around just to fit my play style. But, I mean, they also did way better than I have ever done at a regional, because I've never been to a regional, so... That's my logic.
We'll have to get you to a regional, huh? All right. The last one that we have for Top Cut is the Quinlan Voss, and this one is a little bit different. I
mean,
I guess it's
slightly different.
Yeah, it's just slightly different. Daring rate is probably the biggest change.
And the X-34s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I think it's almost identical, right? They got one more Qi'ra than the other one did, and one more Han, and their sideboard's a little bit different. I guess we could talk about their sideboard a little bit because they have a one-off mace in it, right? That's crazy.
I don't mind it. I'd probably run 2, but it's they got 2 of the hidden sharpshooters, which is the 4-cost 4/3 ambush unit, which is pretty interesting. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, it's probably really good into Qi'ra, right? Because it's a 4-attack ambush.
Yep.
It's good into Sabine because if Sabine's their only unit, right? You can choose, right? So you just ping Sabine and then hit them with the sharpshooter and kill it.
Yes.
Which is pretty nice.
Yeah. And we used to run Syndicate lackeys before that hidden sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Was kind of like identified like as a better into aggro the hidden sharpshooter is. But like we used to run Syndicate lackeys because you play it, it's 5 resources. It can come out with Quinlan ambush and it does 6 damage. Kills
a Bosk.
To some, yeah. It was like a Plo, but
yeah,
with less health.
Yeah, but
I like it. I can
respect it. Yeah, I like the sideboard choices. It's got double sanctioner shuttle too, which is relevant.
Mm-hmm. Especially because when you play, like, that was a big thing going against Vader, like that I don't think a lot of people were paying attention to, but like against Vader decks, like you put your ground units out, then you play a Sanctioner shuttle, capture their unit. It's like you could neuter the hell out of their play.
Yeah,
and then they have to kill it.
To get in there. Yeah.
Yep. And it becomes not fun. And then like the next turn you could follow it up with a Falcon, or if you put a Falcon down to begin with and they didn't kill your Falcon, now you're Sanctioner shuttle and well, go ahead and try and kill it. I got a ready Falcon. Go ahead, baby. You know, I don't know. Like, I'm not sold on the Qi'ra. I'll be honest. I'm not ever sold on that Qi'ra. I just don't like that. But I guess against aggro decks, maybe it makes a little bit more sense. I don't know. I like Ahsoka.
I don't mind the Qi'ra. I don't personally think I would run 3 of them. But it is one hand information, which is nice. So you can call whatever their crazy card's going to ruin your life, make it cost extra, or you don't have to call a card in their hand. Like, if I look at your hand, I don't see any overwhelming barrages, but that would absolutely devastate me in the next turn. I'm still just going to call overwhelming barrage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a mini regional governor in that way.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's no pose. No pose in this deck either.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild to me. But I guess you got Hans, right? So for one more resource, Hans probably better. Well, it's 2 more resources, actually. I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy gap there.
Yeah, well, also Qi'ra, you can call the Millennium Falcon and then, ups the price of 3 of them, right?
True.
So if they ever run anything that's the same name like that. But yeah, that gap.
Yeah. So... All right. Well, I think that'll do it for the top cut. I wanted to go over it just because I felt the diversity was there, and I felt that like if you're going to be playing in PQs for the next month, this is kind of probably what you're going to see. I don't know how much more you're going to see crazy innovation. I don't think the meta's settled by any means. Don't get me wrong, but I do feel that like people will gravitate towards these 8 decks per se that you could expect probability being pretty high, minus the fact that there's no Vader in here, and Vader did come in 9th and 10th in this tournament. So I will say that we are not going to cover the Vader deck tonight, but I will tell you that the Vader deck is like the other thing that you have to watch out for. So these 8 plus that Vader deck are probably what I would be most looking at when you hit PQs for the next month.